Hi everybody and welcome to Learn Live Streaming Live. My name's John Lacey and today on the show we're going to be looking at how we can actually maintain our YouTube channels, because a YouTube channel is never really done, and I must admit mine is a little bit neglected at the moment, so I thought it would be a good opportunity for us to actually have a look at this together, and maybe you need to have a look at yours as well. So we are going out live to all the various places. If you are watching live, let me know where you're watching from, and it is great to have your company today. So many things happening on my computer, and it's one of those great things that, like one minute to go before I was set to go live, it became apparent that the Rodecaster wasn't working. So that was not a great way to start the day. But all right, let's just sort of get stuck into the content. I want to go to the trusty YouTube channel, and I'll bring that over here. Okay, so this is my YouTube channel, such as it is. And I think what I want to do today is sort of take stock of what's actually up there and what we might want to change, and just give you some idea about what we might want to work with. And one of the things that I started doing a really long time ago that I never really got back to was redesigning this banner. So, and if you go back to the previous YouTube show that we did on this, you'll see that I started designing this in Affinity by Canva, which is a free app, by the way, if you've got, as long as you've got a Canva account. And I had this template that's got all the different sections, and this is actually from Chantel Hills, so you can go to chantelhills.com and download this. And basically, in a perfect world, I probably would have finished this properly, but I'm just going to use it as is. So I guess the thing about that background is that it's showing you that you've got one large file to upload to your channel, and different parts of this will be visible on different devices. So, you know, a TV should show basically the whole thing. Whereas I think what I'm going to focus on today is just the thing that we're going to see on the profile within Windows. So I'm just going to save this. I'm going to go save as. I'm going to go into this folder. Actually, I'm going to export it probably, not save it. Export. PNG. Again, this really isn't finished, but I'm going to just roll with it anyway. And let's go into here, and I'll say new channel banner. All right, so if I go back to the profile now, and when you're logged in and you're on your own profile, you'll actually hover over here and see an edit button. So I'm going to click on that one. And I'm going to come up to the banner image, and I'm going to change it. And rather helpfully, I think that is where we saved it. New channel banner. There we go. So again, this gives you a sense of what is viewable on all devices, which is this middle section. So this middle section is really what we're going to see on mobile. Viewable on desktop is going to be the whole thing. Viewable on TV, there's going to be a fair bit of blank space there. And again, I could come back and redesign that at another time if I had time. So I'm going to go done. And I'm going to go publish. And let's go back and refresh this. And it hasn't worked yet. Let me try that again. There we go. So we've got the new banner there. So again, I think, you know, I could probably spend a little bit more time editing that. I'm not going to do that in real time, at least not today. I might do that at another time. But essentially, we've got the Learn Live Streaming banner. We've got the profile image, and that's another thing you can sort of edit from here. So if I wanted to replace this, and I think I'll leave that there for the moment. But I think there probably is another image I want to substitute for that later on. And then we've got the information about the channel itself. So we've got the name, which is this section up here. So I've got Learn Live Streaming with John Lacey. We've actually got the handle as well. this is actually how people reference you on YouTube, and it's also the URL that you will be given is youtube.com/@ whatever your handle is. And this is really good. I'd probably be a little bit careful about changing this too frequently. We want our links to work, and we want to make sure people can find us. And we've got the description. We've got a channel URL. We've also got some links. So here on the channel itself, it says, it's got my first link, and then it sort of alludes to 2 more. So if I click on the 2 more, it'll show some other things here. I don't know that any of those are necessarily except with the possible exception of my website. I don't know that I really care about sending people to other places, so I could choose to hide that or show that. And again, we've got the description there as well, which we can edit the text of. So that's all well and good. So the other part of this is the actual things that are on your channel. So at the moment, I've sort of got upcoming live streams and live now. And if I were to refresh this, I imagine... In fact, if I guess I have already refreshed this, so I was kind of expecting that one to disappear, but I guess to the extent that I am live at the moment, it just wants to show that. We've got live now. Then I've got the OBS Obsessed playlist. I've got the OBS Studio Sources, which is a collection of shorts. I think there are 15 of those. We've got Learn Live Streaming Live with John Lacey, which is essentially this show, but again, I feel like there's a whole bunch of shows that I haven't added to those playlists, and we'll need to go through that as well. The video and live streaming show with Sam Proof. And again, I guess the other thing that might not be super obvious is we have the ability to add a description to these playlists, which can be really useful. And again, I don't know the extent to which this might help discoverability, but it kind of makes sense that it could. It has the potential. Then we've got the guest and co-host appearances and coffee and content, which is sort of another one. Learn OBS Studio with John Lacey. Yeah, so there are all these different things. I've got the podcast. I've got me when I'm on other people's shows. So one of the things I did actually have on here, and I kind of took it away, and I think we might bring it back, is I had just a playlist that was latest content. And I think we'll have a look at that playlist in a little bit, and we'll see how good or bad it is, and whether we want to reuse that or whether we want to start from scratch. But hello to Business Growth Ready. Great to have your company today. So we've replaced this banner. Again, it's not the most exciting banner in the world. And again, when I keep saying when I have more time, I never have more time. I'm very tired and very busy. But in a perfect world, I'd probably go back and make this a little bit more interesting. But I think for today's purposes, this will do. So what I do want to do is... we've got the customized channels, but I think we'll go with the manage videos first. So here we've got all the content, essentially. We've got the videos, shorts, the live, the posts, the playlists, podcasts, courses, not that I have any, but if you have that functionality, promotions, I don't have any. I don't even think I've got any collaborations. I know Sam wanted to try that out at one point, but I wasn't sure if it made sense. One of the things that I've been playing with lately is that on the posts channel, so again, we do also have the community, which means your audience can post their own content. I don't know that that's something I really want to explore at this point in time, but maybe you want to. But I often make content that is essentially for social media, and it doesn't really, and even when it's video content, it doesn't necessarily make sense to put it on my YouTube channel. But I have sort of been uploading it as an unlisted video and then just posting it on here in case anybody wants to look at it. And again, it's a 31-second video. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but sometimes I just want to post something that doesn't really make sense on the channel, but could just be a little extra thing. And also, if there are any information like, the OBS Studio forum issue, I kind of want to mention that as well. Okay, cool. So Business Growth Ready writes, the playlist, words, and description can rank. Additionally, if somebody's watching on a TV, the algorithm will push viewer to more videos in that playlist if they can engage with those types of videos. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I've got that, but essentially, this is going to be kind of painful, and the reason I'm doing this as a live stream is because I wanted to make myself a little bit accountable. But if I go to my live tab, I've got this one that I'm doing right now, but there's a whole bunch of other things in here that may or may not have actually been assigned to a playlist. And I really wish there was a column in here, and I think I've actually asked YouTube at one point about this, if there could just be something that indicates whether something is in a playlist or whether it is not. So what I probably need to do is actually go back to my profile here, go back to the home, and OBS Obsessed, you know, for example, if I open that up into a new tab, I'll see that I've got the date published newest. And the last one I actually had in here was the OBS Studio building blocks. So if there's anything more recent than that, and I know there are a couple, I'm just going to do this. And I could, in fact, I can, because of the way this is sorted with date published newest, I probably could do several in a go, but I'm just going to go and add that to the playlist. So that would be, actually, that one's already in the playlist, so that's cool. What about this one? Oh, it's in there too. Maybe I'm a little bit more organized than I thought. And then do we have any more after that? Okay, we have these ones. There's a really good chance these aren't in there though. Okay, so OBS Studio sources. Potentially I could put this in the latest content. I have a feeling, in fact, let's just do that right now. I have a feeling I won't use that, but let's just see what that looks like. And I'm sure I could just select all three of these and do that, but I don't know. I have a thing where I like to do them individually. And let's do that for capture vertical video from last week as well. All right, we got that. And now if I refresh, and so far there are 14 episodes of this. If I refresh, it's still saying that there are 14 episodes. Maybe I need to do something else. Or maybe that just takes a little while to upload. Let me just refresh that again. Okay, well that might be a caching issue. Because there are definitely a few that we've added, but they're not quite there yet. And in fact, if I right click and go inspect, and I will move this to another screen, I can hold down the refresh button and go empty cache and hard reload. And I'm still not seeing that, which is incredibly annoying. Let's try just hard reload. Okay. Well, I don't know why that's not being particularly responsive, but that's fine. I'm sure it'll update eventually. All right, let me just close out of the developer tools. I don't know if this is just a me thing, but as much as I like dark mode, I struggle to see where one dark mode window starts and the next one ends, especially when I've got the lights on me, which don't really help. But anyway, that is incredibly annoying. So I'm just going to refresh the profile itself. I'm sure it'll catch up eventually, but not right now. Okay. Well, that's fine. Let's keep going. So learn live streaming live, which is kind of this show. Last one was the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And I haven't done a lot of these shows this year yet, so it is possible, but let's just go and find that one. So we've got that one there. So even the last YouTube makeover show that I did isn't in my playlist, which is not great. And again, I guess with the live streams, there probably is the potential to sort of just assign this at the time that you schedule the live, but again, I just don't get in the habit of doing that. Even this one, which I don't think was a particularly great show, but it is what it is. So that one and that one. The live assets. Let's even see if we can add this here. I'm sure we probably can. So this is the current show that we're doing in real time. We'll add that in there as well. All right. And again, I don't know, like this doesn't seem to be reflected very quickly. Although in this case, this one actually worked this one worked straight away. So I don't know what's going on there, but let me just have another look at the OBS Obsessed one. No. That is weird. Maybe there's something about that particular playlist. But anyway, let's not dwell on it too much. So I guess the other thing too, over sort of December, January, I did a whole bunch of these coffee and editing streams. And I really enjoyed that. I mean, it was time consuming, but I think what I want to do, I'm just going to grab all of these coffee and editing ones. And even this 2026 Now What one was a little bit like that, but I will leave it out of here. And these are incredibly repetitive, I'm not going to lie. And I don't know how interesting they are to people, but the thing that people told me at the time was that remarkably few people actually live stream video editing. So I don't know, maybe that's something I need to do, but I kind of need to actually record something to edit in the first place. All right, so from here, let's imagine, in fact, we don't need to imagine because this is literally true in this case. I don't have a playlist for this, so I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to go new playlist. It could be a podcast. It could potentially be a course as well. Again, I haven't explored that functionality very far, but in this case, let's just make it a standard playlist, and I will say coffee and editing, DaVinci Resolve, editing, YouTube shorts and reels from a live stream. And again, in a perfect world, I would actually explain this in the description a little bit more. I'm not going to dwell on that quite right now. Public, date published, newest, and we'll specify our language, which is English Australia, and click OK. So they'll all be in there. I'm going to hit save. I'm not going to add those to the latest content. I have a feeling I'm probably not going to use that, but yes. The thing that Business Growth Ready notes here is definitely true. Quite easy for YouTube to add the orphan. Well, I mean, it should be quite easy for them to add the orphan video column. Yeah, absolutely. Because in a perfect world, I think like we should have a number of steps. We should have our own personal little checklists of things we do after we go live. Which is, but again, it would be so great if the systems could support us further. And I do find that when I finish the live, it takes, especially as an introvert, it takes a lot of energy out of me to actually be here and do this for an hour. So once I'm done, I'm kind of done. I kind of want to walk away for the day, but, I mean, that's a good point. So best to lead with the keywords, then put coffee in editing. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. So, I mean, if I go to the playlists, this is the point at which I always forget that if I've got a private playlist in here, you guys will be able to see it, but I can just go in here and edit the details. In fact, let's switch those around because I think that's a good idea. And again, John creates 15 YouTube shorts from live stream recordings taken from OBS Studio in DaVinci Resolve. Again, we have 5,000 characters, so I could type a lot more, but I'm not going to make you sit and watch me think and type right now. So we'll go save. All right, so we've got those. The other part of this, which is a little bit more time consuming, but I think we need to do it, is if I go through and actually look at, say, this one, for example, for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 accessories, do we have end screens? Because we may not. Hi, Neil. How you doing? Great to have your company today. So we're just going through and doing some maintenance on the old YouTube channel, which is sadly quite neglected because I'm busy and tired. But essentially, I want to go in and just see if I've got an end screen on this, because if I don't, I kind of want to add one. So, I mean, clearly here it doesn't look like I do. And the end screen essentially gives your viewers options as to what they might want to do next at the end of your video, so the last 15 seconds or so. And we do have different options. We've got different templates that we can choose. What I normally do is I will actually go and import from a video. So I'll find an older video that I've already done this for in this particular example. So for this show in particular, I'm thinking it's probably this one, but whether this one has an end screen, it doesn't. So again, I'm going to have to go back and change that one as well. Another great thing in that overview would be, does this have an end screen? But let's go back further. Fun with video, does that have an end screen? It doesn't. I don't have end screens. Joyful. What about this one? No. Okay. So I haven't really done an end screen in forever. So in this case, I might want to actually go back and I don't know if I've still got that playlist open. Let's actually look for a much older one. Let's go. I'm gonna search for Meld Studio. Let's see if Meld Studio has one, because again, this is a great example of stuff that I should be doing that I'm just not doing, and maybe you're not doing either. So I'm going to try this one. There we go. It does. Okay. So the three elements on here for this one is video best for viewer. So this is YouTube actually choosing. This is giving them the option to click on my profile pic, essentially to subscribe to the channel. And this also goes back to the playlist with the 23 videos. So again, we could tweak this. We can actually select these. So we can say, oh, do we want best for viewer? Maybe we want the most recent one. Maybe we want to choose one specifically. I don't know how much I trust the YouTube algorithm, but in this case, I think I will just let them do that. So now I've got that there. And I know I've got that for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 one. So if I go to, I guess I don't need to save. Maybe that already did its thing. Let me just double check. Yep. Okay, cool. All right, so that's fine. So the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 one is there. Again, it would be so wonderful if I could actually just select all of these and say apply that same template, but I don't think I can, which is kind of annoying. Let's go into this one. And again, end screen. I'll import this from the Meld Studio one again. And we'll save that. And a lot of these things are quite repetitive. And again, you probably should be in the habit of doing this on maybe a weekly basis rather than me forgetting about it for 6 months and then coming back to it. Okay, so Neil writes that he's found it a bit overwhelming until he explored what he could do with Claude Code to build some tools to review and clean up my YouTube channel. Saves a ton of time. Okay. It sounds interesting. Yeah, I guess it's no secret that I'm personally not a great fan of AI, but if that's helping you, then awesome. All right, cool. So I've got that one. Let's do this one as well. Again, I'll only do a handful of these. I won't make you sit through and watch them all because it will be, and I've just hit the wrong button. We want the end screen. And we'll import that from another video, and that was Meld Studio. And I kind of, essentially what I would do is I've got different playlists for different shows. So again, I can actually just reproduce those end screens. So again, that's a really worthwhile thing. And I'm not going to do it in real time right now because that will be really tedious and boring to watch. But again, it is something that is definitely worth doing. And like I said before, it would be so wonderful if we just had a column. If it could just let me know if there's one there or not. But again, YouTube haven't done that, so we just have to roll with it. All right, so we've got that as well. So we've got the playlists, we've got the end screens. I have sort of updated the channel banner. Again, not the most exciting thing in the world, but maybe I can spend a little bit more time redesigning that in the future. What we will look at now is actually customizing the channel. So if I click on this customize channel button, this will give us all kinds of wonderful things that we can explore. Again, it sort of gives us those same banner and profile pic options, but we also have the home tab. So let's explore that one. So right now, we've got a home tab. Again, if you don't have a home tab, make sure you turn that on. We've got a layout where we can select up to 12 sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've kind of already exhausted probably what I can have here, but let's just have a bit of a play and maybe change a few things. We do also have a featured video for returning subscribers, which I'm sure I had my reasons, but I think let's change that video because I don't think that's a particularly exciting one. Let me just see what we do have here. In fact, I might just go with this mobile video kit, which again is a vertical one, which doesn't sound like the greatest idea, but let's just roll with it. All right, so in terms of the sections, we have all these great options that we can explore. We've got a channel trailer, so if you created one, and again, that's only been on my list for my to-do list for 15 years, and I haven't done it yet. So I don't know, maybe one day, maybe that would be a good editing stream actually, just to take some lives and put something together. We've got For You, which is interesting, and I'm sure I had this on here at some point, and maybe I removed it, but essentially this is YouTube's way of saying, hey, I think this content from this channel is going to be of interest to you. Let me just see if I can add that. Okay, I can add that. And then again, I can sort of, if we do want to adjust where these things appear, we can sort of drag and drop them wherever we want them to be. And I'm just going to publish that just to give you a sense of what this For You section actually looks like. And it is kind of interesting because, like, if I go to Sam Proof's profile, for example, it'll show me videos I've not seen that I probably would be interested in from some time ago. So if I go down, there is definitely some weird caching issues here. So I don't know how readily I'll be able to show you any of these changes. Which is so annoying. Let me just get those developer tools up and we'll try and do a hard reload. Empty the cache and hard reload. All right, and it looks kind of ridiculous. So let me just close that and refresh it one more time. Yeah, it's not going to show me. Anyway, we'll come back to that. In fact, if I could view channel from here, does that give me a better sense? No. Okay. All right. Well, you might have to take my word for that, or just experiment with that yourself. But essentially, I think that is kind of a fairly nifty thing, but you don't have much control over it. It'll just show people what YouTube thinks is of interest. And again, now that I've added that For You, I've essentially exhausted all my channel's sections, so I can't add any more. So I will remove this. And then we've got the ability to add videos, popular videos, short videos, collaborations, past live streams, single playlists, created playlists, multiple playlists, subscriptions, featured channels, and posts. If I go to my featured channels, I could say, check these out. And I could go business growth ready. And I could go, I think it might be the facilitator. Yep, there we go. Sam Proof. Actually, it's Sam Proof TV, I think. Ah, there we go. All right. And, you know, Neil was in here earlier. I'm not sure that that's the name of his channel. There we go. All right, cool. So I can do that, and that will actually have my featured channels. And again, maybe I could move those up. I will try and publish this. Again, I haven't had a lot of luck with these changes being reflected straight away, but we'll give it a go because I think that is kind of a nifty thing to add. So if I go down, and again, it's not going to show me just yet. It might take a little while, So maybe we'll leave that and we'll come back to it. But essentially, and it is showing the For You section though, which is exciting. So here it's saying, I think you might be interested in these videos. So it's kind of making its own calls about that. StreamYard versus Restream from 2 years ago. I don't know how relevant that would be, but thanks YouTube for recommending it. Got that there. Scroll down. In fact, I think I removed the For You to add the channel links. So maybe I just have to wait 5 minutes after I make any of these changes before I can actually see them, which is not great during a live demonstration, but it is what it is, and it's what we're going to have to live with, I guess. But essentially, like, what should ultimately happen is that we'll have this section and we'll have the links to these channels. And again, I could maybe move these further up if I wanted to. So if you have different projects, if you have different accounts, if you want to shout people out, that is certainly something that you can do. In theory, it's not moving very convincingly for me. I'll move up a little bit. And again, and maybe just above this one. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We are actually getting closer and closer to that 1,000 subscriber mark every day. I think it was, in fact, we're going to be on the channel. It'll show me right here, 949 subscribers, which is awesome. I'm really hoping to get to 1,000 at some point during this year. But again, like this, there is some serious delay between me making those changes and them being actually visible here, which is incredibly annoying, but it is what it is. So we've got that. Oh, there we go. Finally caught up. So essentially, we've got these here. Check these out. Again, you can change that text to whatever you like, and you can link to different people to different channels, which can be really, really useful. All right, so let's just get rid of that one just so I can show you a few other things. So the sections, essentially, single playlist is literally just a single playlist or a single podcast playlist. Probably even a course these days. I haven't really tried that. And again, I've got individual playlists for the shows. I've got one for the set of YouTube shorts. Again, I'm not really sure that people come to my profile and watch shorts in this fashion, but because I spent so much time actually building this out, I thought it would be worthwhile putting that onto the old channel. But again, you just kind of need to try these things out and decide what you want to do here. So I might even, as much as I love the video and live streaming show that we used to do, I think I'm going to take that off the profile. And again, it's not like the playlist is still there. You'll still be able to find it. It's not hidden. It's just not featured on the profile. And I guess that's kind of what I think I need to be more conscious of, and there's a good chance you might need to be a little bit more conscious of too, is how many options are you giving people? How obvious is it what your channel is actually about? Because I think that's going to make a real difference in the scheme of things. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I need to think about how I'm going to wrangle some of that stuff. So let's just publish that as is for the moment. In fact, I might bring back the For You, because I'm always surprised at the kind of things it recommends when I encounter that on other people's channels. So I'll bring that back. The upcoming live stream and the live now. The live now section will only sort of appear when I am live, whereas the upcoming live stream will be there essentially as soon as I schedule something. So we've got that there as well. All right, so there we go. Again, there's a lot of maintenance potentially that needs to happen here to make the YouTube channel be as good as it can be, and it's going to be a little bit time consuming, especially if you don't have a system for that. So it's something I'm going to have to sit down and spend a little bit more time doing, and I won't sort of bore you to tears by making you watch me do that. So think about, the channel branding, the banner, the avatar, what actually is your handle on YouTube. Is it descriptive? Does it describe what your channel is actually about, because I think that's really useful. Again, think about, you know, this blurb I've struggled with, and every now and then I change this, and I don't love it, but it is what it is. Again, the 2 shows that are referenced here aren't even current, so that probably needs to go. And again, even the focus of the show, it's much more OBS Studio and DaVinci Resolve these days. And again, I might even change some of those links. So whatever it needs to be, it's always going to be a work in progress. And I think you need to be a little bit gentle with yourself as a creator, because it's never going to be perfect, unfortunately, or fortunately, but it's always sort of under construction in that sense. So spend a little bit of time tweaking your YouTube channel this week or this weekend if you've got time. Think about how you're organizing the stuff. Is it in the playlist? Do you have those end screens? You know, if somebody lands on your profile, do they understand what it's for and what it's about? Because I think that stuff is really, really important. So thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a shorter one, but I hope it's been useful. Just think about those couple of things. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's press the magical button one more time. Great to have your company. Have a great week. Have a great weekend when you get there. And I'll talk to you again very, very soon.